In today's video, we will be breaking down the new ETIAS rules coming into play in 2024 and specifically how they will impact Canadians and Americans traveling to Europe. ETIAS stands for European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's designed to enhance security and streamline travel for non-EU citizens. The new ETIAS rules affect citizens from about 60 countries, including Americans and Canadians who plan to travel to Europe starting from January 2024, as travelers will be required to apply for ETIAS authorization before their trip. ETIAS is not a visa, but it's more like pre-approval that you will need to apply for online before you travel. And to be honest, it's been on the brink of coming into play for years now, and I do not think it's going to be that big of a deal, and it's probably not going to have too much of an effect on the average European vacationer. Canadians and Americans currently enjoy the privilege of entering many countries in Europe, specifically in the Schengen Zone, without the need for a visa or any sort of authorization. With this change, you will still be able to go to Europe and travel between Schengen countries freely. You just need to fill out an application online first. The Schengen Zone is a group of 27 European countries that agreed to create common entry and exit requirements in order to remove the need for internal borders. In more simple terms, you can move between these countries without going through border checks or showing your passport each time you cross from one country to another. So traveling from country to country in the Schengen Zone is essentially like traveling from state to state in the US or from province to province in Canada. The Schengen Zone has made traveling around Europe as a Canadian and for my neighbors in the US extremely convenient since you can move from country to country. It completely blew my mind when I drove from Croatia to Italy and didn't pass any sort of immigration or border check. I honestly thought that we had found some sort of border loophole, and it was just a matter of time until they caught us. In case I haven't made this clear, they never caught us because we never did anything wrong. Traveling from Croatia to Italy without passing any border is just a benefit of the two countries being part of the Schengen Zone. Let us know down in the comments if you have ever taken a European vacation and traveled to more than one European country. If you let us know which countries in particular, you get bonus points. So here's what you need to know about the new ETIAS rules and how they will specifically affect you if you plan to travel to Europe from 2024 and beyond. To obtain an ETIAS authorization, you'll need to complete an online application. The process is expected to be straightforward and should only take you a few minutes. You will need to provide personal details such as your full name, date of birth, and passport details. Definitely make sure that you triple check any details that you put in before submitting the application, because similar to flight bookings, if you do make a mistake and you have to speak to a human in order to get it corrected, that is the thing that is going to end up making this a much longer and much more frustrating process than it needs to be. Anything that involves speaking to a human these days makes things a much longer process. It's just not something we do anymore. So you can expect to hop online to the ETIAS website, fill out a form with details about yourself, and then pay a small fee around $8. Keep in mind that your passport also needs to be valid for your entire stay in Europe, and also make sure that it's got a minimum of 6 months validity from your expected return date. An expiration date on your passport of at least 6 months before any international travel is pretty standard, so definitely triple check this as well. Once your application is submitted, it will be cross-checked against various security databases. In most cases, you can expect to receive your ETIAS authorization via email within a few minutes. Certain applications may require additional processing time, so aim to do this in advance. I will personally just be doing this application around the same time that I'm booking my flights, so I can group the two things together and then I don't have to think about it. Once approved, your ETIAS authorization is valid for 3 years and grants you entry to all European countries in the Schengen Zone without the need for a visa. You'll be allowed to travel freely across these countries for up to 90 days within a 180-day period. So whether it's for business or leisure, you'll be covered for multiple trips within that time frame. It's important to note that the ETIAS authorization is going to be valid for 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever one comes first. If your passport does expire before the 3-year period, then you will just need to reapply for a new ETIAS authorization, which, as you have probably gathered from this video, is not going to be that big of a deal. Getting a new passport, on the other hand, good luck. Apply early. International travel regulations are always changing, which can be quite stressful. So hopefully this video was helpful in easing some of the anxiety you may have about these new rules. I've also included links down in the description, including the link to the official ETIAS website where you can get the most up-to-date details as well as dive into many more details than I covered in this video. And if you are planning a trip to Europe, you will definitely want to check out my friend over at The Professional Hobo on YouTube. Nora is a travel genius with a ton of experience hopping around Europe. I'll link to one of my favorite videos in the description for you to watch next, where she breaks down packing in a carry-on only for a 3-month trip to Europe. So many good ideas, and you will love it. My name's Megan, and I share travel tips and hacks every week on this channel, so I definitely hope you'll consider subscribing to join us back here for the next one. Bye!